going into 100-mile race or anything longer, I just know I'm not going to give up, and quitting isn't an option. So
Welcome to Flagstaff Bound, a special Cocodona 250 series brought to you by Distance to Empty podcast and Aravaipa Running. I am Kevin Goldberg, host of the Distance to Empty podcast, where we dive deep into the world of 200 plus mile ultramarathons, just like Cocodona 250. As always, I'm here with my legendary co-host, Peter Noyes. Today, we're sitting down with an athlete who's quickly making a name for himself here in the world of ultra running, Max Jolliffe. Max, I should have confirmed how to pronounce your name before we started, but here we are.
No, you nailed it.
Nailed it? Sweet.
Yeah.
Max has shown that he can get through these long races and make it look easy. Now he's stepping onto the biggest stage here in the sport at Cocodona 250. Max, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Super excited.
So you've skyrocketed into the ultra world, coming off your dominant Moab 240 performance last fall in October. What made you say, okay, Cocodona 250 is next?
I think you just said it a minute ago. It's literally the biggest stage for these 200-mile races. I've been out to Cocodona once before. I think it was the first year that Satisfied did the Fain Ranch aid station. I think maybe 2023 it was. And I was just amazed at just seeing the guys come through in the lead, and it just really inspired me to get into like the longer stuff. And just a month after I was volunteering at Cocodona, I signed up for my first 100-miler, and that kind of started this snowball into just the multi-day stuff, which I'm really, really intrigued and excited by.
That's awesome. I remember in 2023, the Satisfy aid station, I had run a lot of the first day with a runner named Nick Peterson. And when he got to the Fain Ranch Satisfy aid station, he just was like, hey, those are cool shirts. Can I have one? And they just gave him one. And I had already left. And then after the race, I was like, man, why didn't I ask for one? So like on my race plan was written in 2024, like when you get to Fain Ranch, you make sure they give you one of those Moth Tech like Cocodona special shirts. And I had to like grovel, but they did give me one.
I think that even better, they had these like collab Crocs that are just the softest. I have a pair. You should have grabbed one of those. Those are like one of my most prized possessions. They're just the most comfy slides in the world. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I had to make the promise that I would change right then and there and wear it up Mingus. So the Crocs might have been a little more difficult to get up Mingus in, but yeah.
Definitely.
So in a 100-miler, it's kind of either your day or it isn't. There isn't really the ability to have some deep lows and bounce back for that. But in a 200 plus miler, definitely there's time to have some multiple lives and manage highs and lows. So how did you manage going, from that 100-miler where it's just all out to, this dynamic situation where it's more about surviving sometimes than competing?
Yeah, it's been a real learning experience for me. Just really in the last year, all the races that I've ran, I just try to learn something new every time. And going into a 100-mile race or anything longer, I just know I'm not going to give up, and quitting isn't an option. So, and just remembering that no matter how bad or low I'm feeling at a certain point of the race, like it will feel different even just a little bit of time later, if it's 30 minutes or an hour later. And there's always a solution to whatever might be going wrong. And just to try not to get too caught up in the lows and just try to just keep moving and problem solving along the way. And that's kind of just my main mindset and attitude when it goes to just trying to survive these things, is just keep moving. Like you're going to get through it, just one step in front of the other.
Yeah, I think it takes a while to learn, but it's like, it's going to change. In 100, the duration can be short enough where like, hey, it's possible that this is the way it is, and that stinks on that day. But in a 200 plus multi-day race, it's going to change. Hopefully, it changes quickly, and you just move through it. And I think that's really.
I experienced that like really profoundly when I was running TDS. I was at like the 60-mile aid station, and I had pretty much given up on myself just in the race, thinking I was so far behind, and that my getting all caught up in what's my placement and all these people are passing me. And just feeling super low energy and slow. And I just took a little bit of extra time at this aid station, and I was able to kind of like piece myself back together. And then I took off and passed one person and then passed another person. And it was like, I just, as quickly as things kind of started to fall apart, I was able to get that momentum back when I just like took off with a vengeance and just said, hey, I'm just going to push myself as hard as I can for these next however many miles, and we'll see what happens. And it's just crazy how quickly things can turn around sometimes in a race like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming off of Moab 240, obviously it went really well. It was a successful race for you. So what is one thing that you've kept the same from your Moab prep that you're taking into Cocodona 250? And then on the flip side of that, what's something that you know has to be different going into Cocodona?
Ooh, good question. I guess one thing that I've done the same is just try to be as consistent as possible with my training. Just doing big weeks, lots of volume, just focusing on like getting as good of nights of sleep as I possibly can, making sure I'm eating healthy. I'm doing everything that I can in the lead up to Cocodona, kind of similar to what I did at Moab, including running races as like kind of training leading up to the bigger race. So last year I ran a 100K and then a 100 miler and then another 100 miler and then Moab. That was like my entire year last year. And this year has happened a little bit quicker, but after Moab, I didn't really even take my foot off the gas with training. I just kept it going, and then ran a Black Canyon 50K. What was that, like a month or two ago? So yeah, just keeping the reps up and trying to keep it consistent and keep it moving. And then what I'm going to do different in Cocodona. Yeah. It's a good question. I learned a lot of things during Moab, just as like from a lot of it just has to do with taking care of myself during the race. Like my feet just got really, really destroyed at Moab, and I made some mistakes with just like lubing and chafing and just kind of rookie stuff that you can kind of get away with in maybe a shorter race like a 50 miler or 100 miler, but kind of learned my lesson and learned the hard way at Moab. But I think I did a lot of things right during that race, so I'm going to try to just replicate what I did there and kind of tighten up some of those little mistakes that I had made before. Yeah.
Yeah. So another difference between these two races is that, Moab starts off pretty runnable. You can get into the groove of the race pretty much from the start. Whereas at Cocodona, the first 37 has a reputation. It's a long stretch, a lot of climbing, and not much aid. So you have to carry a lot of hydration and all that. So it's really more about surviving, those first 37, at least for me. So I'm curious, what's your approach to that first 37, knowing that, the rest of the race will be different, but that first section is something else.
Yeah, I think I probably do best in like the later stages of the race. So I'm not really too worried about the terrain. I'm just going to try to take it easy, take it slow, not get too caught up in what maybe some of the leaders. I know there's going to be people going out hot, especially with the field that we have this year. So I'm going to try to not focus too much on what anyone else is doing and just stick to my plan. And yeah, we've seen some crazy comebacks in the history of Cocodona before. So what happens on day one, really, you can't predict who's going to finish by the placement of the people during day one. So, yeah, just trying to run my own race. Like I like the hard stuff, so it'll be fun to get into that in the beginning. But yeah, it's just trying to wrap my head around exactly what my strategy and my plan is going to be. Still got a little bit of time to figure it out, but yeah, I'm just going into it looking to cruise that first day and not go out too hard and burn myself out.
Yeah, I think in the history of this race, for sure, far more people have damaged their race or hit roadblocks on that first 100K than they have made significant gains and put down performances that have stuck. So it'll be interesting to see if that holds true as the competition continues to increase and people continue to go out hotter and hotter. But I think for now, that is still the strategy to run with. And I just last night saw The Chase, which is that new Cocodona movie, and it was fascinating seeing the different times that people got to Crown King and then to Camp Kippa, and then how that ultimately shook out. Who got to
Right.
Heritage Square
Right.
first? Like it didn't line up.
Hmm.
So it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it all adds up. Like
Yeah.
the energy you might burn in that section, it's going to cost you later. So yeah, it's a tricky thing trying to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, that's what makes them fun. Big puzzles. Um, so Max, when you think about your growth as a runner over the past few years, it's been, we used words earlier in the interview like newer to the scene and skyrocket into the ultra world. Like when you think about your own personal growth in this sport, like what's the biggest shift in not necessarily your training, but in your mentality, how you approach these long, difficult events?
Yeah, over the last year, it's been a lot of confidence building. Like each one of these races, I go into the race with some type of expectation, and I always just continue to like exceed my expectations and kind of blow like do way better than I'm even expecting. So uh, I think part of that just over the last year is just being validated by my results and knowing that I do belong here and I do stand a chance against some of the best in the world, especially in these 200s. So yeah, the last year has just been really really a lot of confidence building and just knowing that yeah I belong. And yeah, it's been crazy for me. I mean, it's just happened so quickly that it's it got me by surprise, definitely.
Yeah. So before we hit record, we mentioned that Jesse Haynes uh, said that you're a big reason why he's running Cocodona. And then he said, well, he's a big reason why you're even running 200. So curious, is there a story there?
Yeah. So after Cocodona 2023, I was super inspired and fired up to run my first 100 miler, and I signed up for this race. And guess who I went up against? Good old Jesse Haynes. He's just such a legend, especially here in California, Southern California. He lives in kind of the same area as me, and yeah, in my first 100 miler, he beat me by like an hour and a half, and I was like, "Who is this 50-year-old guy that's just like destroyed me? Like, what? Who is this guy?" And learned about him, and then we ended up running a couple more races together throughout the next year, and I became good friends with Jesse, and he won Moab the year prior to me, so just getting to know him and how much he helped me in my lead up to Moab, and just all the information and knowledge that he shared with me along the way was just like super inspirational to me. And I wouldn't have signed up for Moab if Jesse hadn't won the year prior. So yeah, he's definitely a big inspiration for me getting into longer ultras. And yeah, it's cool that he said that I inspired him to run Cocodona. I'm looking forward to sharing some miles with him. Yeah, he's definitely a huge contender.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys both have a built-in person to blame when you're struggling out there.
Yeah.
Max, assuming you said you've been out there to the course already. So, what section of the course are you most looking forward to here in May?
Um, I mean, the Sedona area is just like so beautiful and cool. I hope I'm at least hitting some of that during the daytime. But yeah, it's always the finish line. You're looking forward to finishing the race, and yeah, it's just so cool. The entire course, there's so many beautiful, amazing spots along the way that the whole thing is going to be exciting. But yeah, I think Sedona and coming into the finish at Flagstaff will be the
Yeah.
highlights.
If you're having the race that I think you want to have, Max, you'll hit most of Sedona in the daylight, and you'll be leaving Sedona in the dark.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
What about a section that you're not looking forward to?
Ooh, section I'm not looking forward to. To be honest, the section I'm probably not looking forward to is like the day leading up to the race. Like before races like this, I just don't like the anxiety of trying to remember all the little things and trying to coordinate the crew and just the anxiety and pre-race jitters and nerves. That's always kind of the toughest part for me. And then as soon as I start running, I kind of get into the groove and start to enjoy it. So I don't know if there's necessarily any section of the course that I'm not really looking forward to. It's more so just like the lead up to the race.
All right, we'll talk to you when you've traversed through Fain Ranch and see if that that answer changes.
Yeah, I've heard some things.
What shoes are you going to start the race in?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to start the race in the Rocker, Satisfy's new shoe. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, loving it.
So what is one outcome of the race that is not tied to results or time goals or placement that would make you proud of yourself?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's always just running my best race and not really leaving anything behind or not leaving anything in the tank, and just trying to execute a race as well as I can and not make any mistakes. I mean, in theory, that's the perfect race and what I'm always shooting for. But yeah, I don't really ever have any expectations for placement or time. I'm just trying to do my best, and I know what I'm capable of. So yeah, as long as I just put it all out there, then I'll be happy with that. Yeah, definitely.
All right, last question we've got for you is a fun one. We've had answers to this all over the place. So while there are wrong answers, there's no wrong answers. We asked ChatGPT how many steps it would take you to get from Black Canyon City to Flagstaff along the Cocodona 250 route. Do you have any guesses on how many steps you'll take from start to finish?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna guess 6,600,000 or 6,666,666 steps.
Well, I see what you did there, but and congratulations, you are the most wrong by far.
How many steps?
It would have been better if you did 666,000.
I was gonna do that at first, but I was like,
but it's more fun to go big. 350,000 to 500,000 steps.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier than you're thinking it is.
Yeah, so yeah, it'll be a cakewalk.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, remember that Cocodona 250 kicks off Monday, May 5th at 5 a.m. Pacific. You'll be able to catch all the action live. Mountain Outpost YouTube will be featuring all the runners from the front of the pack to the back of the pack. Aravaipa Running does a great job of nonstop race coverage throughout the whole Cocodona week. There'll be other races to follow too, of course. Mingus Traverse 82, Flagstaff Crest 39, and Sedona Canyons 125 will be featured as well. There'll be additional content, behind-the-scene coverage on Cocodona 250's social channels. And if you're enjoying the series, don't forget to check us out, Distance to Empty Podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify. We think we're pretty fun. And we'd love for you to give us a follow, give us a listen, let us know what you think. Max, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see you out there in Arizona.
Yeah, see you guys out there.